like anything. There's no such thing as better. Like it's there's no such thing. But I think like the better is who can be more with God. I think that's like it's not a competition, but it's something that's judged. Not judged, but it's something that's looked up to. So if someone sees me that's very connected to God, they do look at me and they're like, damn, I want to be like that. Like I want to be more and more closer to God, you know? And but it's not like a jealous thing. It's like a motivating thing. Like when you're with God, it's like you want that, bro. Like you hunger for that more, you know? Yeah. And the thing is like God works like super wonders, dude. Like I'm talking like I've danced in hell, bro. Like I've like life is hell, right? But I've been in the depths of hell, bro. And I've been around people that are totally like taken over by the devil. But when I say totally, you're never totally taken over the devil. God is so beautiful that he's always in there deep down. And that's why I dance with it. That's why I try to help those people find that. And God just works wonders, bro. Like people will be doing things and they're not even knowing what they're doing. They're like dancing with the devil. They're blah 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 and they're trying to fuck you over because the devil is. But like when you're just focused on God, like for some reason, like he just makes it happen. And like maybe not right away, maybe you go through shit, but it's just his testimony, bro. You know, it's something that he needs you to do that work to be better for life, for what he needs, you know, and he's always got your back, bro. And true people know that. I think there's no worries. I think it's all peace. It's almost like you decide if you want to be in heaven or hell, you know? You decide if you want to, if like on earth there's heaven and hell, like it's what is it called? Purgatory. But it's like you decide, no ma you decide in your heart where you want to be, you know? So it's like, do you want to feel like shit? Do you want to be scared? Do you want to worry? Or do you want to have faith, hope, and peace and forgiveness and all these things that God's telling us to do, you know? And don't get me wrong, like the devil will always try to pull you down. He'll always try to scare you. Like he will. Like evil spirits do that. But, you know, the devil needs to realize that God is all powerful and is beautiful. And even though the devil, God doesn't like what you're doing, he wants you to know that you're still forgiven. You're still loved. You're still here. And you can change whenever you want. And God loves you. So you don't have to be, you know, you don't have to be mad. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be like, you know. And when I say you, I don't mean like, I mean all of us, you know. I mean like everybody, dude. Everything, everybody, you know, everything, you know. Yeah, be aware, yeah. But just love, bro. Just love. You know, love it. You know. Yeah, just love it. Like enjoy it, you know? Like Yeah, like this is just a reminder, but it doesn't matter. He loves you no matter what. So just live and love, you know? And it's gonna be hard sometimes, but he's got you. You're good. That's not a big deal. If he loves the devil, if he even loves, the bottom line is, yeah, he doesn't love the devil. What I mean is people that are doing bad choices, but he forgives. And it's up to you just how, no matter if you're going through bad shit, the time you decide whatever to do good, you're loved. Like it doesn't matter what you've done in your past or how you feel about it. No matter what, you are loved. Like you're forgiven. It might be deep down, it might be hard to find, but it's there. But like what I'm trying to say is if the devil wasn't accepted, he wouldn't even be here in the first place. God is everything. So he is accepted, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it the best way of living. It's not being closer to God. It's being further from God, so that's all. So it's yeah, be closer to God. The closer the better, you know. Keep her with the 1,000. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He allows the devil to exist because, in my opinion, right? Like only my opinion, my best answer to that is he lets things happen because everything is good in the bigger picture. Even though it's bad, it's still life. Everyone still has choices. He wants to give that, but there's still him, which is the light, which is forever peaceful and love. So even though there's dark and outside pulling away from it and stretching, energy stretching, but it's still, he's still right there, like you can still go and do things, but he's still the core, It's almost like, there's the apple, you can bite the apple, but no matter what, there's still the core in the middle of the apple. You can bite it around and it can still have bites and it can still be there. But no matter what, there's still the core of the apple at the end of the apple. No matter if it's perfect, like it's still, there's things that happen and it's still, but it doesn't change God, which is the core of it. And that's where we want to be, you know, is, and it's a better way of living. Like he only got people to say this so it can help us, but it's not to discriminate us. It's not like sometimes religion's like, oh, they're discriminating, and I understand because they're pushing, but they're only saying they're being extra because they know there's a better way of living. It's not that they, yeah, it's just reminders. It's like there's still hot water that you can jump into, but it's like and you could burn yourself and you're like, fuck, but it's like, okay, but this is the better water. But you're like, yeah, but I like it hot like this. But it's like, but you're feeling like shit after. It's like doing drugs. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's still things that aren't the best, but it's like God makes and God gives free will and things happen, but he still owns you. The devil drops and he's pulling away from God so far, but he'll never be able to break God. But he can stay there and he can bring people and make them feel bad. But it's like an elastic band. Like God is still creating and he's still the creator, you know? So it's just like a reminder, all the religion stuff of like what is good and what is bad, you know? What is making you feel what is making you feel worse and what is making you feel better. I have literally devil horns right now. The devil's playing tricks on me more and more because he's so jealous, but it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, the devil, like you think like God starts and then like the devil was like this huge power that God had, but since free will, he decides to drop that way or something, and then it gets people like, what the fuck? Like he's pulling that way, and but now he's down there, the devil, and it's just this energy of dark and pullingness, and but God's still the creator, and there's things now it's attaching here, and just but and it expands, but you can't forget that God, the core, is the light. It's the healing. It's the creator. It's something that you can go back to and be healed and changed and um all of that, bro. I get what you're saying with like, did he make a mistake? But I think it just boils down to the free will thing, you know? When he's creating, it's kind of like letting things have like almost like a mind of their own in a way. But it's like, okay, but why would he do that? But it's like probably just to make things, interesting, you know? Like probably just to be like, yeah, like, I'm creating. Well, my honest view is like God all exists, he gives free will, but wants us to choose him because it's love and light. But so we don't make bad choices. Those that bring souls that want to get the devil make people afraid. Make people afraid. I get where you're coming from and I understand that, but I think there's always more depth to just our everyday life. I think there's more depth to the bad choices. I think there's more depth than, the Big Bang just happening. Like when you really go to the core, there's something that's just so much more depth about it. So much more like it just breaks everything else, you know? So I get where you're coming from. I think like at the end of the day, it's like he, yeah, I think he gave us choices, right? And I was, he's creating and giving people a mind of their own, but even God, like, even God makes not mistakes, but like, even God's growing. Like, it's like God, just say it's a light and it's creating. There's gonna be bad things, but God is the power, is the force, but even he's like like he's even growing. So it's like there's going to be things like the devil that drops from God and there's going to be things, but it doesn't stop God from being God, you know? So even if bad things happen, it doesn't stop God from being God, but we can say, okay, so why wouldn't God just make because but it's because you're chilling with the devil. It's because you're chilling over here instead of going to the source and asking the question. And if you go to the source and ask the question, all your answers are there because it's always growing, it's always creating, it's always getting better, you know? So just following that light, being with God is how you're gonna make changes with God. You know, like he needs your help. He needs our help. He wants that. He doesn't need it, but he wants that. The more good that comes, the more energy and the more beauty and all that. But at the end of the day, it's his job to keep moving forward and keep creating. And it's our job to remember where we came from and love that energy in a way. I like to use energy because it's like, I don't think the idea of the devil's no fear. It's more, no, not my Bible here, no. It's more with the devil. Actually, it might be my car. I don't think the idea of the devil is about fear. It's more of the recognizing real temptation choices and pull us away from what's right. Yeah, I think like it's like if I think if you're pulled away, like I think like at the end of the day, it's like yeah, he's always growing and creating, so when God created the devil, was it a mistake? Well, he could have informed the devil earlier, but he didn't. He created, he didn't know what was going to happen, and things happen. Creators make mistakes. So he's constantly creating, but he's constantly learning, and he's constantly passing that knowledge to people so we can learn and we can spread the word and we can get better and we can grow and we can not make bad choices and we can make good choices and just that energy, God is forever peaceful. No matter what happens in this earth, yeah, he let the devil choose. Yeah, like he lets all of us choose. Like at the end of the day, I just look at it as like a ball going in the air and it's creating, right? So all these things are falling off of it. But now it's there. It's if we want to, we're always going to be connected to God, but the more we remember God, the better it's going to be. But the more you dull your light and the more you like don't follow that. But yeah, he makes mistakes, bro. That's bottom line. Like there's things that he makes that a light bulb will burn out. And it's about you fixing that and remember, but like the only way to fix it is like to to find to find God, to remember where you came from so that spark can spark up again, you know? Um, yeah, the light bulb burns out energy, but we're not talking literal, we're talking spiritual, you know? Um, which is obvious. But yeah, it's an analogy, you know? Um, yeah, but bottom line is God makes mistakes too. God constantly is doing his thing and growing and creating. And we're our goal is to find God. Our goal is to be with God. Our goal is to that gives you all like there's a source, which is God. He's the source. And that's where Jesus was trying to lead us to. He was trying to lead us to the source because he knew that that was where miracles were happening, where peace was happening, where growth was happening. Um, and like just say all the planets and stuff, right? Like we're only on Earth, you know what I mean? Like there's so much out there, right? That God's still creating. Like the atmosphere is still growing. Like God is still creating, you know? And with that creation, things are still happening. Like there's a planet that burns off. There's still things, but when it burns off, it crumbles, but then nothing really dies. Like there's always things that it goes somewhere, So it's about finding like it finds its source, it finds its way and it creates and it grow like it finds its way. And so yeah, that's my belief on it. That's my belief on it. And it's a lot to learn because we don't know everything because we're only human, we're only on Earth. Like we can't, but you do know that God is healing and loving and all this. So it's like you choose. It's a good spirit. It's a good energy to choose. You know, uh, it helps you grow. It's such a good way of living. You know. Well, that's sick, Hebrew. I gotta search that out. I never knew that theology. It's pretty sick. Sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, we know enough to do good. Exactly. That's like, but I understand why, like, people wanna, like, I wanna figure out more, so do I, right? Like, you're always learning. That's a healthy trait to, like, ask questions and try to understand more and more, you know? And that's kind of like the journey of life, you know? It's about, like, learning more, you know? And yeah, taking a lot of theologians. Yeah, exactly. You know, you know little because there's so much more. Like for me, it's like the more I'm learning, the more I'm like, wow, like there's so much more. But for me, I wouldn't look at it as knowing little. I would look at it as knowing more. There's just more out there. Like I wouldn't minimize yourself. I would let yourself grow and be excited to learn more. Yeah, Don Henley, good guy. I get the analogy. Like I get it. But just trying to help you look at it a better way for me, how I would look at it. Not that you have to look at it like that because trust me, I know I can't change anyone, and I don't want to. Well, if I can help, but at the end of the day, I just have my own opinion on it. And if it's good, if you like it, okay. But yeah, you know. The more knowledge you gain, the more you're gonna trust and faith. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. Like I think like to fully understand it though is a lifelong journey, and I think that's a great thing. You're like we don't fully understand, which is a great thing. Sometimes it's, exactly the more there's more out there. Yeah, there's so much more, right? Like the Bible was just like God's word. And the reason why I respect the Bible is because it's coming from a standpoint of following God. It's not right, all of it, but it's still coming from that standpoint, which is the journey of life, you know? And that's where I have a lot of respect for it, a lot of respect for it. Um, but I do also respect the thirst of learning more about God, like going through your journey and talking about your life, like your you're understand learning more and more and all of that because you're always growing, you know? Do you think you actually learn that? I think like hopefully after this life we something happens, like we understand more, you know, like whatever that means. And then I go from there, you know? I think in this lifetime, since we already have the ultimate death that is guaranteed we don't know, then no. In this lifetime, you'll never, there'll always be a surprise. You know, there'll always be something that is bigger than you know, and I think getting comfortable with that is, I feel like just learning more about God, like thirsting more for knowledge and keeping that open mind, expanding and, you know, going through, yeah, like, yeah, being spiritual. I think being spiritual is one of the most, I think being spiritual is the smartest way you can live life. I think the smartest people, in my opinion, aren't people that build rocket ships, aren't people that do all these things. I think the smartest people in life are spiritual people. That's my opinion. I don't think people that, I think a lot of people that thirst for things like that. I don't know. I think I'm not saying people that build rocket ships, there's not spiritual people that do that, but I think like one of the smartest standpoints of like, you know, life's already short, so it's kind of like enjoy like life, you know, and it's like when you really enjoy like spiritual is all about your feelings. Like it's all about like what feels good and what feels bad. And I think living life like that is such a peaceful way. So like, and when you look at it spiritually, you'll know like how to differ things, you know? That's cool as well. Yeah, that's the thing. Like everyone in the world is beautiful with their own ideas. That's what's so cool, you know? And that's why God is great because we came from God. Like we come from the universe, you know? We like all of this happening and just in like a blink of an eye is just like whoa, you know, and we all work together to follow the good, and there's good and there's things that are not good, and we can feel that, you know, and um that's why God's saying like follow me, follow the good, you know, leave the bad in the past, leave it behind you, you know, if people want to stay there and they can stay there, that's their choice. That's the point of life. It's push and pull, you know, so follow God, follow the good. Please- Yeah, exactly, D. So much, like, so much better to enjoy being spiritual, you know, because you enjoy yourself more, you know, you realize, like, you're not just a human being, that level, you're, your energy. You're you're like you're you're beautiful. Like you're literally energy. You know, like it's a good thing. You know, I think faith is meant to be understood the same way by everyone. Um, I think like very faithful people kind of end up in the same place in a way. So I think there is that, but I think like everyone learns differently. But I do think God is one, and that's like the Big Bang, let's say. Like it just happened. It's a light that just happened. It's just one thing. But I think like everyone's where they are, what's going on. I think everything, the way they the way they find God, in my opinion, is all different. I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, it's written by man, but men are God. Like like we are from God. So like we are from the universe, so we're doing things for a reason. So we're writing things through a feeling of this is the realest I can get. This is through a time that's so difficult that I'm writing what I feel God is telling me to write. Like it's coming from the universe and written by people and then carried on by people. And it's how people feel, you know? They enjoy that feeling, but not everyone feels the same. That's why it's all interpreted different and it's also negotiated. It's also saying, yeah, but this, you know, uh, you know, and so it's kind of it's grown, but it's basically like when I look at God, I look at good, it's a good. It's like trying to find what's good, you know. When God says, don't hurt someone, it doesn't make you feel good to hurt someone. Or don't, when you lust too much, you feel low energy. It's not really filling your spirit, you know. Um, yeah, I think like it's just trying to find, it's trying to help what's good. What's a good way of living when I think of God, you know. So it's like all their intentions is connected to that, is trying to live with peace, feel better. It's not about going to war, well, the Bible, I don't know about other religions, but um, the Bible, you know, um, because I know other religions like this, but I don't really want, I don't know, like, it, you know, it's always growing too, what someone thinks is good today might not think it tomorrow, but for me, it's like God, the universe, I don't think you have to be so fixated on the Bible, but from my experience, what has made me feel closer to feeling real is Jesus Christ. Honestly, the more I talk about Jesus Christ, or the more I truly believe Jesus, the more I feel real. Like the more I feel spirits, the more I feel the nature. So it's doing something, it's helping me focus on something, and um but yeah, I don't get, I like to learn myself too. I am my own person. So I do like to, he wants the people, God would want that, God wants all of us to be ourselves first and foremost, you know, um, and then learn as we go, you know. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna get some chips, one sec. Feeling some chips. I gotta piss, dude. I think search what gives you more faith, what makes you feel more faithful, what makes your spirit grow, learn, you know? I think, and that's what God's all about, is being faithful and having hope. I think that's the best way to live. I wouldn't want to sit here and worry about cracks in my stairs all night and skits out all night. I'd rather have faith and walk through the fire. So, um, what gives you more faith? What genuinely pulls you, you know? Mhm. you know? That's what I mean, right? Like, same thing, different. It's all your whatever it makes you feel like that. And then obviously the question is, but what's the answer? But I think there's more to it. And I think like only you will figure that out as you go. Like life's a journey. And yeah, we live in the hardest times right now. There is so much going on. So that's why I would rather not like my thing is have faith and follow your heart. Be linear. Because if you focus on all the noise around you, it could just be no- it could be we could live in a false reality. This could all be fake. Like, who knows really? Like, so like we can come up with millions. People thought Earth was flat. So just follow what drives you, your faith. Not trying to figure it out. Just having faith and walking through and going through emotions and going through and and how you feel. Yeah, exactly. Nature, all that. But don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm eating chips. Actually, no, you're right. Yeah. Even eating chips, we can say, oh, it's not really, but no, it's more of like in your soul, you know? It's not about what you're really doing. It's more about like when you feel good. Like when you feel full. When you feel energetic. When you have you know what I mean? So, yeah. You know when to put the chip bag down. Eventually. Might take a while, but you'll get there. Yeah, I think taking a life obviously isn't good, but I think people are put into situations where it's difficult. So, but at the end of the day, you're a human being, right? Like you're not perfect. you know? So, yeah, but it doesn't mean you don't have God, but how would I do it? I would rather be a monk than be in war. I would rather be sitting in a field, smelly balls, smelly armpits, hairy motherfucker, getting eaten by ants, whatever the fuck it is, chilling with Jesus Christ, chilling with God, than to be going and shooting people. I'd rather be poor. I'd rather do what I have to do than to be in war. Because either way, you're gonna die. Either way, it's scary, but I don't want to kill people for the feeling of it. I don't like revenge. I don't like war. I don't like doing it for a president I don't like that life. I don't. And I could, you know, whatever, but I don't think it's not worth it. I'd rather kill myself than kill someone else. Genuinely. And I know I've said no before in that, but when I'm really genuine about it, like just thinking about it now, I changed my mind on that because I honestly would. Like, I wouldn't want to kill anyone else. It's not a way of living life. I would rather not even do it at all. Like, it's something that would make me feel horrible, and I don't want to feel horrible, you know? So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I get angry and sometimes I feel like I need to protect myself and I'm just losing my mind. I'm like, why don't people get it? Like, I'm like, what the, and I feel like, do I have, like, I feel like those, like, but at the end of the day, it would just make you, when you sit down with yourself at night, it would just be like, that's a human being just like me. So, like, it doesn't make me any more special now, but you are special when you decide not to do that to somebody. When you decide to value human beings, when you decide to value life and the growth of life, you know, um, there's a reason why after you have a bad day, you come back here and yeah, you want to feel good, but at the end of the day, we all want to feel good. If we all wanted to die and we all wanted to kill, we'd be doing it, but we really don't. It minimizes everything, you know. We would rather We'd rather love and explore and live and smile and um grow and create. Yeah, they're doing it for their country for sure, but I would rather not feed the fire, you know. So I don't believe in war, bottom line. I'm sorry to say it. A lot of people won't agree with me, but just my opinion. I don't believe in war. I don't believe in, you can call me whatever you want to call me, right? Because I already know a lot of people are like, wow, so you won't even stick up for your family? Honestly, no. I don't believe war. I think like even if someone was hurting me, I don't even think I would want to fight back. I think it would be more spiritual and better to be like Christ and like let bad happen. Like if it happens, it happens, but life's too valuable to be hurting people and stuff. And once you're hurting someone else, you're hurting yourself. So, don't get me wrong, if someone's hurting you and stuff, it's hard, right? You're like, but first thing is you should try to get away from that. And if you can't do anything about it and someone's hurting, you try to get away as best you can. You're trying to minimize it. Maybe you poke his eyes out by accident because you're minimizing it, but you're like, fuck, like, but God will see that. He will see that you went through that. So the initial thought, no, I don't want to go charge and hurt people. But if someone was hurting me, then I would do it. But if someone hurt my sister, would I go get revenge on them? No. It's not a way of living. I would want to kill the whole world and I'd be miserable my whole life and I'd want to kill myself. So I would leave it up to God. Because I already know, not losing my sister, no amount of revenge, no amount of hurt I can give that person would ever give my sister back, would ever even get me close to having her back. It wouldn't do any justice for me, you know? It would, I would leave it up to God. I would leave it up to that person now that they hurt my sister has to deal with God. He's going to be, even if he's not hurting, guys, if you have to live that kind of lifestyle, if you don't think they're hurting, you're oblivious. Genuinely. Anybody that's living like that is not human. Like they're they're hurting every day. Like they need their next meal all the time. Why would you ever want to minimize your life like that? It's not freeing though. I get why people think it's freeing, but you it ends. Like that freeing feeling comes to a halt where you're like now you just want peace, but it's like but you were just killing for decades. So you think it's gonna be easy to just have peace now? No, it's gonna be super freaking difficult, you know? Yeah, I think like revenge, I'm not talking, but like if my sister already passed away and I go to save her, she's already passed away. So even if I went to get that revenge, I won't. Yeah, okay. But protecting others, yeah, but I think like you're still shooting others. So even though you're protecting one group, you're still killing the other group. So I think the best way to protect people would be that's why I just say like follow God because there's no really beating the bush. Like God will lead you to a cherry bush. He'll lead you to shelter. He will lead you to sacrifice the lamb when it's time. When you go, it's like go through the depths instead of just that first initial, I don't believe in war. Like bottom line, I believe like we're all in this together and like so that means we have to start somewhere and we have to follow a good path, you know? Yeah, in the Bible there were certain soldiers, but Jesus didn't believe war. When Jesus didn't believe hurting other people. Jesus let everyone beat him up and got hung to a cross and got stoned to death. You know, he he didn't want to go and like, he wanted to push like faith, love, like togetherness. Like he was really pushing like that other than like, oh, that person's hurting someone. Let's go beat that guy up, you know? He's the one that says if someone hits you, turn the other cheek, So he was really pushing, let it like let it be. I think like obviously everything changes, so the Bible changes, like things like, like just because something was holy in that time doesn't mean it's always going to be holy, They were at a place in time and then they grew from that place, you know, and things happen on the way, So I think like the Bible was written thousands of years ago, so I don't think it's, yeah, there's a lot of bloodshed, but we're talking about Jesus though. Jesus also spoke about love, intention, and protecting others, not wanting to hurt people. It doesn't mean you stand by if someone is being hurt. No, but it still doesn't mean you hurt someone else. You do your best to not hurt somebody. You do your best to protect the people over killing that person that's hurting somebody. You do the best to steer your way through. And that conversation of your best is only between you and God. I don't know if it's your best. Sherry doesn't know. Jackson doesn't know. Only you know how you did through that. And only you know how much you could have done better. So yeah, you do your best to avoid war. Yeah, I get the standpoint you're coming from, but at the end of the day, I think the bottom line is religion, like what you believe. And then, yeah, obviously you need power, you need oil. Like these are things that help your life. Do you need it? That's all up for consideration. I think like, but in a society like today, very government owned, like what you're gonna go in the forest and do it yourself, and you can go, right? But obviously difficult, right? But like, yeah, it gets to a point where it's like, this isn't right. You're taking more oil than we take, and then, greed comes in. So it's not just about using religion to start war. Yeah, there's resources, and some people can be greedy about it. And I think the most greedy people are people that don't believe in God. They're the people that you need to watch out for. They're the people that will slit your neck because they realize that nothing matters. People that believe God and stuff, they'll go to the depths. They'll give you more life. They will walk with you more. Some people even lay down and let you, they believe God so much, they'll even let you have all the sources you need and they'll die for you. So, what people do you want to be around? I want to be around people that believe God. I want to be around people that won't stab me in the back, that won't, when it comes down to it, slice my throat because they didn't give a fuck. So I think there's just two ways of like going about like living, and eat good and eat like bottom line, you know? Yeah, they started war and they claim to believe God, which is their issue, not mine. Like, just because someone claims to believe God, or just say someone does believe God, doesn't mean they're walking with God. It doesn't at all. Maybe in ways, maybe they're bragging this, but doesn't mean them going and taking a life is right. I'd rather be poor than be a president and take someone's life. I'd rather be in a shed. I'd rather walk naked in a field and have a lion maul me than take someone's life for in any means. Like literally though. Life's too short. Why would you kill someone because to save your life? We're not here for a long time either way. So like, why not live good? Why save my life? What life? No matter how much resources you have, you're still going to die. You're still like, so, you know, right? I gotta pee. I can't believe I didn't go pee yet. Yeah, it's good you don't have to make extreme choices, but you you never really have to. And it's not, I don't think that's what I'm talking about. I think it is good that you have to make extreme choices. I really do. Because even the closest people to God have to make extreme choices. The people that are closest to God have to make extreme choices. So, because if you really believe God, if you really want to follow, that means you gotta sacrifice things all the time. You have to sacrifice your own needs for God. So it's not about that. You don't have to be the bread. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Yeah, bottom line, Mary, is I don't believe in war. Okay? Like, I don't know who in your family went to war. I don't know. It's not my any of my business. But the bottom line is I don't believe war. Okay? For my life, me as a person, I don't believe war. Bottom line, I don't. I'm not saying whatever, but for me, I would rather lay over and die than go to war. I don't like war. Maybe if I was thirsty and hungry and I was in that situation that you were in, you're right. I don't know, right? But as of right now, who I am right now, I don't want that in my life. So my goal is to not get there. But yeah, again, when you're in a dire situation, what you do is all up for grabs. That's why I'm not blaming you. I respect you. I thank you for your service, genuinely, because there's things that you did that is good. There are people that like war, but I don't want war. So again, I would rather run away on my own in the forest, do what I gotta do, than be anywhere near fighting. Like I'd rather be follow love than ever go against the wind. That's just my opinion. That's my goal. That's what I'd rather. Yeah. But again, like, I genuinely don't like war. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, okay? You guys can say nobody likes war. Please thank the blah blah blah. I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. I do not like war. I do not want war. That's it. That's it. There's nothing really else to say, you know? But there's no buts. But Yeah, in a perfect world, but you guys are talking about your opinion. I'm talking about my opinion, which is fine. And that's my opinion. I'm gonna live in my perfect world. Okay? So you can have your opinions, perfect. But in my opinion, that perfect world you're talking about, or what I should praise and what I shouldn't praise, it doesn't matter to me because it's my business. So I will stay living in my perfect world, and you can stay living in your real world. Genuinely. Yeah. Like, the thing with should war is people are going to do whatever they want to do. People are going to do whatever they have to do, whatever it is. I can't change what other people do. But for me, my brother, that's his decision. I might not, I don't have to live like my brother does. I don't have to feel like my brother does. I don't have to do any of that. I live my life, my one and only life, how I want to live. I value my life, how I want to value my life. If that means not talking to my sister, brother, and my that is my life. If that's selfish, that is your opinion. But I live my life. Yeah, they do volunteer, not draft. You know, you're looking fresh and fruity, William James White, in the sweater, beautiful colors and letters. I'm not even wearing any fresh and fruity stuff, you know? That comment just wasn't nice. So I don't appreciate that. But you can kind of see what happens when you follow God. You can kind of see how people that aren't happy with themselves start to treat you. And I'm seeing this a lot in front of my face. But I'm happy about that because I'm seeing what I need to see, my truth. No, we don't have to try to change their opinion, in my opinion. You can. You can do whatever you want, JJ, please. I do not want your life at all. I will do what I want to do. And what I want to do is not that. I want to love my life. That's it. You know? No problem. If my life is impacted by it, then it will be impacted by it. But as of now, it's not. And if it is, then I just don't know about it. Or if I do know about it, I just don't care about it. Whatever the answer is, it's still my life. So what I choose to do, what I choose to like, what I choose not to like, is my opinion. What I choose not to focus on is my opinion. What I choose not to do is my choice, you know? And that's all. With my beliefs, what do I choose to do? I choose to value living peacefully. I choose to value living peacefully. which in my eyes is good. Like, you know, I don't think it'll always be peaceful. I think there will be struggle, but I choose my aim to be peaceful and most importantly, to follow God, to love God. So what that means for me is letting go and trusting that I don't have to do anything, God will do it for me. You know, I, whatever decision I make will be my decision, and I will have to deal it with God, my journey with God, whatever that is. Yeah, I know you guys are, right? But, and I appreciate it, right? And I really do. Um, but I'm just giving you how I feel about it. So I'm sorry if that makes you feel like I feel like that, but that's just how I feel. It's just me, my opinion. Yeah, God gives you tools and whatever tools, that's why like your life is your life, my life is my life, my God is my God, your God is your God. Like mine, whatever I want to do with my life, that's up to me and that's me and God's discussion, so it's not really like a one word answer, but you know what I mean? That's what I figure out in due time. You know? Yeah, yeah. Same God, but different lives. You're JJ, I'm William. You have your interest, you have your choices, I have my choices. Yeah, I think like it's just like I'm not saying take care of your own bubble. It's kind of you know, anyway, if you want to help someone, help them. If you don't. If you feel you want to, do it. Yeah, but everyone, Jesus had his choices, Josiah had it. Like we all have our own life, our own choices. So yeah, it's all with God, but like you said, there's soldiers. That's their relationship with God. They're going to war. For me, that's not my relationship with God. Will it be in the future? Who knows? You don't really know until you know. But as of now, that's not my relationship with God, and that's not what I want my relationship with God to be, you know? Yeah, I think like, you know, it's in my opinion, like it's not about losing or winning. It's more about like just knowing that God is bigger than what's going on in the world. So just remember to have your relationship with God and do what you do with God and have your conversations. And if you want to follow Jesus, whatever that is. I think, you know, for me. I don't think you have to, yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, whatever it is, like if you feel that, you can, your calling from God is different, your calling is unique to you. So it's like, for me, it's not about right and wrong. It's about God. It's about whatever happens is happening either way, you know? Um, yeah. Right? Right, what? Mhm. Thank you so much. It was good. Always good. We always have good lives. Always growing, always learning, always it's really fun spending time with you guys. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Ali. I will. I think you can kind of see in my face that I'm doing that already, and I think that bothers you, and I'm really sorry for you, genuinely. But I will, and I do, you know. Um, Trust me, I do. I'm very, very close with God. I don't think there's many people that are as close as I am, naturally with God. So, and I think that makes people jealous, genuinely. Um, but I just want you to know that I don't have any hate towards you, or I don't live that way, you know? Um, I live through my heart. I live with God. I live with the good, you know? I'm not a hateful person, you know. I always hope the best for you, you know. I always want the best for you, you know. Um, I don't sit on people's lives and figure out ways to bash them because you feel hurt about whatever you feel hurt about, you know. Um, so yeah, you know, I live my life, you know. I do what I do. I lead with my chest, I lead with my heart. Um, and I trust that God makes everything how I got my own trials and tribulations with God, so I don't think you need to remind me about that. I think you genuinely know that. And um, I think yeah, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know I was talking to you the whole time, right? It's kind of oblivious in my eyes. So yes, you. Um, and yeah, that's my answer. If you want to go back to the live and check it out again and rewatch that, you can do that. But yeah, always impressed by you being on these conversations. Yeah, I think like you'll be more and more impressed with me as the days go on. I think I'm a very special person. I've always been. I think it's kind of just something you have inside of you, and um, I continue to do that. And again, people continue to get jealous, and cut you off and do things like that. You can kind of sense it and feel it, and the truth is the truth. So I think at the end of the day, it's just kind of speaking your truth and being yourself and uh, giving it your all. And if people like that, they like that. If people don't like that, then that's their life. That's basically kind of how I live my life. Um, but for me, this is my platform, and I speak how what I believe in. You know, I be myself on my platform, and um, yeah, continuously grow on my platform so people can, see that vulnerability or see that authenticity and know that, you know, that's what God is. God is being authentic and being yourself, you know. That's good, Mary. I'm glad, and I'm literally like super happy to hear that. So, like, thank you for, reminding me that, and like I genuinely thank you for saying that, dude. It can be a lot. There's a lot of haters, a lot of people that just aren't happy with themselves, and we're all not perfect. We all can be haters at times, but it's about trying to see the bright side and be a good person and treat people with respect and with love and um, all that. I think that's a much better way of living. It doesn't mean everything we're gonna do is the same. We're all our own people, all have our own faith, all have our own fate. You know, um, but only you know deep down what your calling is. So I think the last person you should bash is God. You know, I think you can bash me, you can bash whatever, but at the end of the day, that's just not healthy. So keep that faith and keep that faith. Yeah, thanks. I got pee. Listen to my walk with my dogs. Dude, that's crazy, bro. That you're like it's 2 in the morning here and you're just walking your dogs in Australia. Damn. It's pretty cool. Oh my goodness, guys. I guess it's time to go to bed. Even though I could stay on here like all day, all night. But that was a really good talk because I really wanted to talk, like I really needed that talk. So like I really appreciate you guys for being here and having this conversation with me. Like actually and listening and it genuinely means a lot to me. So um I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what time I'll get up, but I'll get up at like I don't know, hopefully kind of early. I kind of want to do coffee before I start my day. Um, you know, new day, you know. Oh, hey, Amanda. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Seriously, I appreciate it. And, even if we don't understand, blah, 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 or get along, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just being here, having talks, spending your time, taking your time, being here means the world. And yeah, it's been a good week so far. From being at my dad's, um, to like, being here, like I can't believe how much I've changed in the past like 2 days, just being able to get on my own 2 feet. So I'm excited for tomorrow. But most importantly, I'm excited for the week. We still have we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We got a full week pretty much. We're only on our this is gonna be our second day. So um I'm excited. I'm excited. So thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. And just remember one thing. Whenever someone hurts you, they're only hurting themselves. So always be a good person. Always try not to hurt people because you might feel like you're in this constant cycle, but it's because you are, you know? So every time you hurt someone, you hurt yourself. And it actually gives someone else more power because they're able to deal with hurt. Um, so yeah, try to my suggestion is try to remember that, you know? Try to remember that. All right. Thank you guys. See you later. Okay. See you tomorrow. It's already 3 o'clock. Good night, guys.